Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It's time to It's time to chaos. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. It's time to get chaos time. Just kidding. That's not the new intro. How funny would that be, though? What if I did do that? Seriously. What if every time I streamed, I just did a new, different intro that was just like out of this world, just like craziness. Anyway, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. It's me, JP, aka Chaos, aka Just Plain, aka Just Perfect, aka that guy on the screen, aka the man, the myth, the legend, aka JP, the way to be. Welcome in. That's right. It's Chaos Unfolded, and we're live on Twitch. Thanks for all being here tonight. It's spoopy season. It's almost the end of spoopy season. We got Halloween on Tuesday. For those of you who do not do the Halloween thing, Halloween is a holiday where you dress up and get candy. And it's lame this year because it's on Tuesday. Who wants the Halloween on Tuesdays? So we're doing a little Halloween thing. We're doing a little thing here on Sunday. Why not? Double creature feature tonight, I should say. We're going to play a game called What Remains of Edith Finch. Not necessarily a spooky game, but kind of like a psychological game. Very story-driven. Switch to game mode. All right. Let's do this. Ooh, so you increase everybody's speed, but not only are you increasing their speed, you're already jumping their action up anyways, so you're almost, what's the word I'm looking for? You're like, not only are you increasing their speed, but you're artificially increasing their speed as well. Like, not artificially, but you're increasing their speed stat, and then also changing where their start line is, pretty much. Welcome in, everybody. That's right, we're playing What Remains of Edith Finch. First time playing, but if you guys know anything about anything, and I'm struggling on something, you know, you're like, hey, you want some help with something? We on a boat. It's going fast in. So has the game started? Alright, I can't move. Oh look, Katie, you're there. Katie, you're there. Look at you, I see it, right there. Ooh, Sven. Oh, actually, let me just check the settings here. Options? Gus? Her name is Gus. Camera control, rectum, sound effects, dialogue, music, brightness. Sure, let's go. You're in my heart. Okay.
This isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just gonna start.
Hold on, I can barely hear the voices, so let's see. We're gonna do the sound effects a little lower. We'll do the music a little louder than the sound effects.
Beginning with the house.
There we go. You guys can hear all that pretty good, right? Always look behind you.
Someone had put up a chain link fence, but it looked like I wasn't the first person to hop it. My brother Milton disappeared when I was 4. It was like the house just swallowed him up.
Dorcas Island, Washington. Alright, so I can zoom in. Okay, so I have two.
Here until I was 11.
I have two zoom in
allowed
buttons.
inside half the rooms.
Everybody can hear everything all right? Do we got mail?
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Can you hear fine? Good, good, good.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Oh, that was neat. Exactly. That's the ICP, the IPC, whatever. Oh, can I jump? Oh, I got a little belly? A little tum-tum?
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
What? Wait, which way do I go? I think I have to go that way. Let's see.
No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
The graph? I mean... the game definitely looks beautiful.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Found the house.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Look at this thing. It's like that house in, it's like that house in Wisconsin. You guys familiar with that house? The one that the woman was building? And,
I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me, even then.
the dragon in the swamp. And, wait. I hear a toad.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words.
Looking at it makes me uncomfortable.
Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house.
So no one's been here for a long time. Phone Twitch is sucking. Oh, it sucks. Alright, I feel that though. I feel that though.
The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
What the hell is that thing up here? Huh. What? What about the front door?
Prowling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11. The power had been turned off the night we left.
Was I just not supposed to go through the front door and I just not touch the front door?
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home.
So these people just left the house and it just looks like this. Got some wine. Tasty.
But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Edith, Eddie, Dawn, Lewis. Okay, and Lewis did not make it. Okay. We got a water filter. That's good.
Like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, MOLY.
They have a lot of books.
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Jesus. That's a statement.
My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home.
What a statement. It's like a bomb went off and killed everybody, but spared the house.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
A smile with too many teeth.
My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Got lamps?
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
What? How do you open that up? That is like sealed. Okay. Maybe we can ride that? Okay, we'll check that in a second. We're just gonna check this last room.
Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house after it sank.
The original house sank? Oh, that was neat. Edith Finch. Wow. This house is pretty cool, though. Alright, so the question is, do I want to go upstairs first?
Great-Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house.
Looks like Sasquatch.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Well, I guess I'm going upstairs first. This gives me Visage is the name I'm trying to say. The game Visage. Let me ride the thing. No?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
So after Milton disappeared, like that. After Milton disappeared.
Molly always seemed like a girl I could imagine being friends with, if she hadn't died in 1947.
That's a statement. Let's take a peek around before I go into that obviously open room that I'm supposed to go into.
Mom must have locked the third floor stairs on the night we left.
We got a decent wine selection up in here. Barbara.
Edie's father, Odin, built the original house.
Oh, okay.
Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Alright, let's go into the obvious open door. Whose room is this?
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room. I think my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Yo, this is a cool paint job for a room.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
Huh.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan.
This is very cool. What?
From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. But I had no idea what was behind that door.
Oh, it's Molly's room.
Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead. I grew up looking at Molly's room through the peephole. Being inside for the first time, I felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Whoa. I don't know how I feel about the owl thing.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here. Before my mom sealed the doors.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
The gerbil food? Are you really gonna have me eat gerbil food?
I thought about eating Christopher, but I held back.
What? This girl's so hungry she was gonna eat her goldfish?
The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it.
Bro.
My Halloween candy was all gone. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
Whew, okay. Sweetheart, go to sleep. But Mom, I'm so hungry. I thought about eating my goldfish. Oh no. She's gonna eat mistletoe? That's mistletoe, isn't it?
I ate a lot of things that night.
If that's mistletoe... Because mistletoe's poisonous, isn't it?
I kept eating and eating.
Toothpaste? Girl, pick that up. Pick that up.
Then I heard chirping outside my window.
You got to eat this bird?
It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat.
What? I'm a freaking cat? Yo, what up, Rari? What's good?
I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me.
Oh. Mom and Dad didn't even look at me. I'm a cat. How dare they? If you run Ting and Asta, you can run DPS at breakneck speeds. Too soon? I don't think anybody's dead yet. I mean, the stories are definitely something. And yes, Ting and Asta are amazing together. I I don't think the girl fell out the window and became a cat. Or like died. I don't think the girl fell out the window and...
The babies were all gone.
I think the girl ate mistletoe. And the mistletoe, I believe, is poisonous. And I think by eating mistletoe and gerbil food that had gerbil poop on it, I think she straight up just died. I think she poisoned herself. I guess we'll find out.
I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Now I'm a freaking owl?
Rabbits.
I'm apparently missing all of the rabbits. I'm a hungry, hungry owl. Wait. How the heck do I catch these rabbits? Got one. Yeah.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Am I looking for more rabbits now?
A mama rabbit.
Where?
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
This kid.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean.
What the fuck is going on?
I was hungrier than ever.
Nope, I narrowly dodged the car.
I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. I grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed.
What the fuck? Yeah, we straight up just eating people right now. And I don't know how I feel about this.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry.
Still
Across
hungry?
the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
This is a wild fever dream, y'all. Oh my god. Oh my god. Who here is totally like concerned about shit crawling out of their toilets while they're on it? Well, I'm in my bathroom.
I
I'm in
got
Molly's
closer and closer.
bathroom.
All of my stomach started growling.
All of my stomach started growling.
And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting It's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
What the fuck is... Oh my... Wow.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Okay. I kind of want to look under the bed. Can I look under the bed? Nope.
I can't describe it, but I felt like some part of Molly was still here. Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Huh. Alright, well, I know we can't leave out that door. Alright, to the window. Alright, it's not letting me walk along the tree line. Okay.
This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though,
Interesting.
when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly. I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room.
Bob. Burpee. So she owned a lot of birds. Oh my god, what is this going to entail?
We got along, and it was a good place to hide from my mom. When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't. One summer, they evacuated the island, but Edie refused to go. For a few weeks, she was a celebrity. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time.
Edith Jr. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day. If a woman names a
Edie
daughter
gave a big
after
interview
her,
about
is she
a
also
mole
a
man
junior?
living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him.
Very artistic. This is probably the sealed door, right?
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
I know this would be
Her
the
room was
sealed
like a
door.
museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house,
What
hoping
the
to leave the curse behind.
Just put a boat on a house?
But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery.
Yeah, I guess that is how the first house sank.
His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
So, Not necessarily. Basically, there used to be...
Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
There are what's called a trailer home. Like a mobile trailer home. In that house, you can actually put on a truck and move. But it's not very common to pick up a whole house and just be like, all right, let's just move this house. Whoa, this, I don't want to step on this. Oh, like a wagon?
The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife, Kay, left on the house was the pink bathroom. It was a pretty big trace.
Oh, shit.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Oh. Heads up. I mean, if it's anything like the last story.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
Got some beer, got some wine. Looks like Milton was here. Fort Calvin. Yeah, I want a house with a bunch of secret rooms and stuff. Dude, imagine. This is kind of neat. This is a cool ass bedroom. Split down the middle, red and blue. Are these twins?
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin,
Got it.
and that he never talked about him.
Cool.
I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam
Shit.
Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did.
Oh, okay, there we go. My brother
At
said
Barbara's
he'd
funeral,
die
we
before he
swore
eat another
he'd
mushroom.
never be afraid again.
And
And
then
he wasn't.
did. Jesus.
I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
This is so neat. So I gotta go like this. Each stick is a leg.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
This is making me uncomfortable. Jesus.
Calvin! I'm not gonna tell you again!
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up,
Oh my god, I can see
Then
over
maybe
the side
he'd
there.
still be
Do
here.
not tell me this is the case.
but I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother. The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Please tell me that that is not how that kid died.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
That's saving. Oh, fuck. I don't even know why that jumped out at me and scared me. I looked up and I saw his face. And I was like, Jesus. Ooh, got chills, man. I got chills on that one.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Huh. This doesn't look stable. Don't falter.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Wait.
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Why did that... That caught me. That caught me there. Bigfoot just like, hey there, little girl. Okay.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards.
Barb Street. In the middle of the... Ew. Look at this gross... cake? Cookie?
Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Old Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch.
Okay.
As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up. A has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room.
Oh, shit.
So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
Uh-oh.
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe.
Oh,
I'll be back in a sec.
it's kind of
20
neat.
minutes later,
Now we know how to get
Rick
into the...
hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent.
Right now I'm controlling her in the panels.
She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
What the hell is going... Oh my god. Oh my god. The hell?
The gang's leader is the infamous Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled and then ate his family 10 years ago tonight.
Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. I know
The
Kung...
oak ridge rattled and grew still.
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Furious.
Act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and you...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the late picture show. Hours later...
Barbara! Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick, you're dead, Walter.
If this is a trick, you're dead, Walter. I like the egg. I like the egg chair. Nice decorations.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Oh
I
no.
returned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. And funny he was. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
from inside the house.
What?
Oh dear.
Oh dear? That's what you say?
The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come true.
Huh?
Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear
This game is literally leaving me speechless.
Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter, hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Oh my god.
Edie told me all Barbara wanted was to be remembered, as absurd as that comic was. Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
That's wild. Alright, so now we can get into the basement, guys. Alright, we jump in here.
I guess now I know why Mom didn't like me playing with the music box.
Alright, and that's still locked, so there's probably some... I guess probably some way to get there from the basement.
A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night.
As I say, when's this thing gonna come out? Dude, how crazy would it be if we opened it up and her ear was in there? Okay. Little
Mom said the
shbed.
basement was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
That was all kind of eerie. Are you making the same ear joke as the guy did? Are you? How dare you?
I saw Edie sneak down to the basement once, carrying packages. I thought
What a
maybe she
dump.
was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Generator?
I remember asking Mom once about where Walter had gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
Taste the beans.
I think it's that none of us has gotten very far.
All right, I'm gonna pause right here, real quick, guys. I'm just gonna use the restroom. Don't go nowhere. I appreciate y'all. BRB, real quick. All right, we back. And a brass snack. Don't judge me. It's apple crisp and vanilla ice. All right, let's see what Walter's got to say.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years.
30 years?
On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine.
Like in
That's
my
what
house?
kept me sane. Having a schedule.
Like in the background?
I always expected.
We have a couple things outside.
But if you wait long enough, you get used to anything. Even a month.
But mostly it's because of Rainer.
The door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped. Whatever that thing was, it was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid.
What is he? What are those, peaches?
It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years. I'm done waiting. I have to leave while I still can.
What am I missing here? What? There's a basement to this basement?
I know it's out there somewhere.
What's out
Whatever
there?
killed Barbara.
Oh.
And Molly. And Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake. But I need to stop living the same day, even if it kills me.
Oh.
Whatever's out there, I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month. Or a single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh.
Walter
my
died when I was
God.
6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
That's wild.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me.
Foreshadowing. The kid one, the one where the kid does the thing off the ledge, that's wild.
Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter.
Tomato.
But if she never told me about an uncle under the house,
What else did
I
she
can
tell
only
me?
imagine what else she was hiding. I don't want to make the same mistakes she made.
This Trashville.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else. But now I'm worried the stories themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Jesus.
I don't know if I should even be
A
writing
relative
this.
of mine, actually, on my father's side, she was an aunt. She actually, she committed suicide. This was like before I was born. She committed suicide by train.
Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of.
Huh. Am I supposed to swim? No. I'm guessing I'm supposed to go up the stairs. I'm gonna take a quick moment to eat some of my apple crisp here real quick. Very nice.
Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now.
A little off.
I think
a little.
the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Man, I hope this story doesn't end. I hope this game doesn't end with Edith here biting
And
a
when you
bullet.
look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible.
Wait. Oh my god. It's the swing. Oh.
I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house? It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery made me more uncomfortable than the human one.
Oh my, there's a pet cemetery? Oh shit.
3 of the gerbils are mine, and 2 had been my fault.
Aw, there's a Bailey.
Sven built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly, Calvin, Sven, Edie, Walter, Barb.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide.
That's the house. Man, they almost made it.
Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
Yep, the Bailey emotes are premium.
There's so many things I wish
She was
I
a
could
good
ask
pup.
my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh, I called it. I knew she was pregnant. I looked down and I was like, oh, no, Tum-Tum. Oh, yeah, maybe not. Let's not block the glass.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
So she's 17, I believe they said. She's currently 17 right now, and she's 22 weeks pregnant. Wow. Well, that's a photo.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged.
What?
Perfect.
It's gonna rain the whole weekend, isn't it? I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
That's the spirit. Okay, got it.
Edith Finch National Park.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. That camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing, though.
Definitely should not have drunk all that coffee.
Hold still while I take a picture of you.
I definitely won't. Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here in 20 years. Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa Sven taught us how to fish. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? We found an old logging trail. There were deer everywhere. I bet if I could remember where that trail was, we'd spot a buck for you in no time. Give me a minute to check the map.
You see some deer out here?
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Focus on your target. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive, you'll need to be strong. Great shot, Dawn!
Wow.
I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay?
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
I was not expecting that.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Wow.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Okay, have a great night. I appreciate you being here. Get some rest. I'm sure we'll be talking tomorrow.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
I don't know if I'm gonna like this one, guys. I definitely don't like that picture right there. That's creepy. Okay. Only a year old? I don't like that. Divorce?
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
Oh, man.
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Bend over, Gregory. It's time to... Hold on, sweetie.
No, don't leave a baby alone.
Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. And he'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
That's so sad. It's so God, I hate the fact that there's shit like that happens literally all the time. It literally makes me mad.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
And there's a back-to-back.
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, "We don't need a stepmom," were the words that I remember.
Husband and wife. You may kiss the bride.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come here. But Gus declined, and as a sign held up his middle finger.
Oh my God.
The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Is he about to get Benjamin Franklin?
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made. The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Oh, shut the front door.
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't, until we found you.
The tent? He got impaled by the tent?
She never talked about him, but Mom told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
My God.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died.
How is this 22-month pregnant woman,
At the time,
17-year-old
it was as far away as she could
girl,
get. Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died.
Sanjay.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Confused. Hold on, I think I missed something up there. How come Don doesn't have a book to read?
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Louis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
Mint, thyme, sage, basil, or as some might say, basil.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
Except for this homeschooling,
But it didn't last. Beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
Just gotta look around real quick. I have chills right now. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
flip book within a flip book. Wait.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
You didn't really say what happened to him. I saw that door he painted.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out. Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Louis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
I mean, this is a pretty sweet room up here. I don't know if I'd be doing all this while 22 months pregnant.
Louis's room smelled very, very familiar.
Or 22 weeks.
That
22
part of him
months.
lived on. Louis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Smoking weed. A lot of weed.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Louis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Louis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small. Imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Oh. This is tough.
Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And and things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously.
Okay.
I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis.
Oh yeah, the best.
So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
A pupper dog.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis-topia.
Lewis-topia.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
It's a little wild.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a
handsome queen.
Handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
The graphics of his imagination are getting much better.
In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
An emperor, perhaps?
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
I don't know what's gonna happen, guys.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Oh, shit. Uh-oh.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
What is going on? Oh my god, where is this going?
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him.
Yeah, I can just imagine him visualizing this, but really he's walking into a meat grinder.
His queen waited, holding his crown.
Oh, that's a freaking guillotine. It is not, actually.
One thing left to do.
It's just a regular old seltzer.
I'll drink to that.
Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Oh, that's creepy.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Is that everybody? 1988? I was born in 88. just heard a weird beep.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
It's very uncomfortable being up this high.
I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
To teach and to learn.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner.
I definitely don't like going up to my own room, because it seems like whenever we go into somebody's room, they are either dead or find out why they died.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now was to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning, okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out. It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life. But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way. I got turned around. I started seeing things.
Oh my god.
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them. Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it, but she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this.
Talking to the Bibi.
If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Are we being born right now?
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Okay.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Did not, I mean, I had a feeling that was going to be the case, but I mean, I don't know, man. Wow. let's just check these trophies. There's 12 trophies as a whole. It's a very heavy ride. Sheesh. I'm glad that the game wasn't like super scary. Like I'm glad they did the humor the way they did it. If that makes sense. Okay, while this is playing, I'm going to tee up the next game, which is going to require a little bit of maintenance. Do a quick little drag over. Slowly but surely. Almost there. I just realized something. I don't have to move anything. I can just do this whole. Alright, there. Alright, so do this. Oh, that was good, guys. That was good. All right, let's see if I can get this done properly. We're gonna raid Little Bad Luna. I appreciate you, Pinxel. Thanks for that raid. If you guys don't know, Pinxel raided me a little bit a while ago. Check her out. She's great. GG, thanks for the raid as well. I appreciate you. For those of you here for the first time, like I said, I play a lot of RPGs, mostly action-based, Soulsborne, things like that, Final Fantasies, and hope to see you again soon. Feel free to hit follow, and yeah, check you later. It's a good time.
Surprise, motherfucker. Why are you running? Why are you running?
Run.